Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of Clockwise Thoughts, where we hope we can just alter your clock just a little bit and reset and turn it. So this week we have a very special guest. We have a good friend of mine from middle school, from high school, very, very close friend, John John. I want to welcome John John to the show. How you
Thank you for
doing?
having me. Thank
How
you
you
for having
doing?
me.
No problem, no problem. So we normally cover I want to say heavy topics. I'd call them heavy topics. We try to keep up to date with what's going on in the media as well, news, sports, things like that. But every now and again, we got to have a lighthearted show, lighthearted episode. So today, we're going to talk comic book villains. And in
Dun,
particular,
dun, dun.
thank you for that. Your favorite comic book villain. So we're going to let the black man go ahead and start it off.
Thank you so much. So I will grab the baton and run with it. No. Just watching a few videos of Marvel villains, DC villains, cosmic threats, and things of that nature. And it was just like, you know what? If you had to consolidate it all, what is your favorite villain? For whatever reason, whether it be something real cheesy that they can do, some amazing scheme that almost worked, some scheme that did work. You know what I mean? So I sat down and I thought about it. My favorite villain, strictly, and this is just because of a power issue, just literally just a power issue, is Darkside. Like when you really peel back the layers, yeah, he is the definition of the word evil. So, you know what I mean? I thought about it from my perspective, but that might just be from a surface layer. So I just wanted to pose the question to you guys. What's your favorite villain, whether it's comics, cartoons, whatever, fiction, I guess you could say.
Oh man, that's loaded. I don't know if I could ever truly completely pick just one.
I agree.
And the best villains, in my opinion, actually, in my opinion, it's like, you can't have a good story without a good villain. I mean, if you don't have like a well-written foil to the protagonist, you're not going to
Wasting
have
time,
a
basically.
compelling, you're not going to have a compelling story. And the worse the villain is, the more substantial, or the more you love the hero or the protagonist. And like, I think the best villains in stories, the very best, and the best writers can do this. The villains, they reflect something that's something like sinister, or something that's dark in ourselves, like something from humanity, right? Just a quick example, like Ra's al Ghul is like the dark reflection of extremist beliefs, right? He just wants to save the
Yeah.
world, but he just wants to do it in a most extreme way possible, right? Um, and that's just one example, but like that's where the best villains are. If you look at like the Joker, it just reflects on like the fear of what can happen if you lose your sanity, right? So like
Yeah.
that's just what really good storytelling does. But
Well, that's why I think most villains that's why I think a lot of times we like villains not to be mythical deities or things in that nature, not something with some already predetermined level of power, but something more relatable. So
yeah,
so it gives the reader more to grasp onto, because the story is that convoluted. It's not just, okay, he can leap tall buildings and stop bullets, so he's the bad guy. You have to stop him. What do you do?
exactly. Like going to what your favorite villain was, Darkseid. Like, I feel like he reflects megalomania, like people who like thirst for power, you know.
For no
And there are people
reason.
out there like that, like despots, your Hitlers, your Mussolinis, folks like that. But yeah, no. If I had to choose one villain, um, that I would just give the favorite title to, and this is a fluid
Oh yeah,
opinion. So
it
if you
changes.
ask me tomorrow, it might be somebody else. But right at this moment, it's going to be Ozymandias from the Watchmen story. Um, he just really did what he did in the worst possible way. So for those who aren't familiar with the Watchmen story, spoilers right here. Just let them know right now. So go read the Watchmen and come back. But Ozymandias was originally a superhero, greatest man in the world, smartest man in the world in this story. Started out, ended like Batman style, inheriting a bunch of money from his parents. But he said, "Forget that. I'm gonna go make my own way." So he donated all that money to charity, every dime. Walked out on the street with nothing but the clothes on his back, and then proceeded to get the best education, though he didn't really need it. Created his own company and a multi-billionaire all in his own right. And then he decides, hey, you know what? I'm not doing enough to help the world. Let me become a superhero. He's fighting crime alongside the Watchmen. And then, like, I think it was the comedian, one of the other heroes in the Watchmen story, mentions something to him, and it just clicks. He's like, okay, there's me on the street, punching out, bank robbers isn't really going to really affect change to the world in the best way. So that plants the seeds, and he comes up with this crazy plan to end the Cold War. So like no more nuclear arms race between Russia and the U.S. by creating a fake interdimensional being and just dropping it in the middle of New York City, just teleporting it in, killing 3 million people, right? So a bunch of people die, and like suddenly everybody's now afraid of this. So there's no petty squabbles between the U.S. and Russia don't matter, because there's this interdimensional psychic squid that killed New York City pretty much. And like the thing that made it like not only him being successful in his endeavor, I think made him a great villain, but in the story, when you find this out that he's behind all of this, you're following the heroes Rorschach and the Night Owl, and they travel all the way to the North Pole to try and stop him. And he breaks down everything. He's like, "Yeah, I did it. This is how." Your common standard villain trope of, "Oh yeah, no, the heroes are here. I'm gonna explain my whole plan to him." And like, as Rorschach and Night Owl are like, "All right, we're gonna stop you." And he's like, "What? What are you talking about? Stop me! I did this half an hour ago." Like, he's like, "Oh man,
and why would I tell you in the process?
Why would I tell you my plan?" He's like, "No,
That's a good
I did this 30 minutes ago, man. He can't do anything about it." But yeah, just the way that he goes about things, his relatability, and just like that dark foil. Like I could see like a hyper intelligent version of myself doing something like that if I was so convicted, and that's kind of scary. But that makes him my favorite villain completely, hands down. Yeah, no, so he's my number one. I got some other people on this list, but yeah, if I had to pick,
we got a lot of honorable mentions without question.
Yeah. What about you, Scout? What about you, Ty? What are your favorites?
Well, all I have to say is welcome out to the clowns. All jokes aside, I've been a big Joker fan since the very first episode. I believe I believe the same with like what you said. It takes a good villain to make a great superhero, and for the Joker to be a random gangster / thief that challenges Bruce Wayne in a multiple different levels of superheroes at every given turn, I got to go with the Joker. Brilliance,
Prince of Crime.
Yes.
All right.
Oh yes. Brilliance, yes. Sidekick status, some are better than others, but it's top one. Miss Quinn. If you can change your psychiatrist to being your number 2, and your right hand person,
you're a bad man.
That takes that takes talent. But for me, it's just the fact that no matter how many people he's killing, they're like questioning, "Oh, well, is he sane or not?" And he goes to the asylum every single time. When it's blatantly clear, it's capital 1 murder in the first degree. You've killed multiple people at once.
Mass murder.
Right. Are you sane or are you not sane? And for that man to get away with that every single time, from a jury of his
that's
peers,
true.
and they ain't put no needle in his arm. Yes, I have to give it hats off to the Joker, because at the end of the day, he's human.
That's true.
Where Batman just don't shoot people and everything else, he's human. He takes one heck of a beating from Mr. Wayne, but he's still human at the end of the day, and he still gets off. And anyone that's seen the movies and stuff like that, great actors has portrayed this man, and the role just keeps going and going. So for me, it's Mr. J.
Mr. J, that's great. And that's actually when you said something just now, it just brought up. And I'm taking this a little to the left, just not too far though. And it's a little bit funny to me. There's a huge plot hole in all of comic books. Like, what happened to capital punishment? Like, there's no way.
No, it's not.
There's no way. I don't care what state.
They don't do that.
There's in all 50 states of the union, they would bring it back. They would bring back the lethal injection, the electric
We would
chair.
draw and quarter him. Simple as that.
They would just straight up hang him. It wouldn't even be a thing. It's like, all right, you kill 500 people once. Shame on you. Go to Arkham Asylum. Second time he does it. You know what I mean?
But the craziest thing about it with the world that we live in, especially today, is the fact that this keeps happening, and there aren't people trying to kill him. There aren't friends, associates, loved ones, family, whatever, trying to kill the Joker for the hundreds of people he's slain in his wake.
Yeah,
that's true. That's
yes,
true.
And that
would make a great storyline.
No one is killing.
No one's ever actually out. Even the Red Hood is basically about a beef with Batman, not necessarily the Joker, who did the killing by his own hand. Think about that.
Yeah,
I died, come back from the grave, and I'm more mad at you for not avenging my death than him for actually killing me.
Well, I mean, have you ever heard of the story about the scorpion carrying the frog, or the frog carrying the scorpion across the river? I mean, you can't get mad, if he stings you. It's in his nature. So, like, I feel like that's Red Hood's reasoning behind, like, not being upset at Jason Todd, or Jason Todd not being upset at the Joker. He was like, okay, the Joker's killing people. That's what Joker does,
Yeah.
But like,
maybe that's why he doesn't get capital punishment, because that's just what he does.
Yeah, but
hold
on, wait a second. But even in the case of the Red Hood, his anger is misplaced. It is, and the reason is Bruce Wayne, almighty crazy Batman who murders people. And if you don't think he's a villain and he doesn't murder people, you're incorrect. He does.
Batman kills people, yes.
But he's part of the Justice League.
Punch somebody.
Injustice, because they don't really give out any. But
think about it. If you punch somebody and they go into a coma or they get a concussion, they're probably going to die at some point. And he does it multiple times. Not once, not twice, but thrice.
Okay.
Going back to Jason Todd.
It's been more than thrice, but all right.
More than thrice. His anger is misplaced because it really shouldn't be toward Batman at that point, because Batman is doing what he feels he needs to do to try to keep the collateral damage and the issues down. Jason Todd really needs just to go and shoot Joker in the face and say bang.
And that'd be the end of that.
Right, and then you don't have to worry about the Joker anymore. But we are talking about villains.
Yeah, but you would miss that laugh.
No, you won't. You don't need Joker because you have Harley. You have Punchline. You have people who can carry on what the Joker does and probably do it better. But
you need a lot of people.
The audacity of you, sir. No. It is one original Mr. J, and that's it. Don't get me wrong. Harley Quinn got her own status. But come on, man. You missed that purple and green. You missed that purple and green.
I kind of like the purple, black, and white of Punchline right now. That's kind of
fair enough.
Yeah, Punchline modern comics. Yeah, no. She's not even crazy. That's the thing that trips me out. She is just dark. That is just just a really messed up teenager.
No, there's actually something that I heard that actually might explain a lot of it. But Reed, your favorite villain though?
Dude, my favorite villain, it's not obscure, but he's a villain who doesn't get much respect when it comes to villains in general, because you
If
hear
you say
about
the Riddler, I'm gonna walk off set. I'm gonna just
it
let you
is
know.
Lex is my villain. Lex
I
is
said the Riddler, but okay,
no,
we gonna go
no,
with Lex.
it's Lex. Lex is my villain only because out of everybody, he is the only one who was able to beat the Justice League. He is. How do you beat somebody that you can't beat?
Didn't I think?
You become president.
Well,
Right.
there's that. There's that. There.
Think
But
about
he
it.
dies in the process though. Anyway.
No, he in the comics he was president from 2000 to 2000, 2001 to 2003.
Okay.
His vice
And then
president.
Superman kills him, and then that starts
Yes, he died
the
during this
Justice
last year.
Lords.
Yeah, that's where Injustice comes in at. Right, but going off of Injustice, and that was just Superman being Superman. I can't take it anymore. I can't have my villain be my boss. Well, shut up. This is life. But he's essentially the only villain who beat his nemesis, his foe, in a way that nobody else has.
In the court of public opinion, yeah, that's pretty harsh for the very, very upfront and forward lifestyles these superheroes lead. Like
Yeah,
with Superman,
you
like
can't
Superman, they never
fight
had to.
them with power.
That's true, but also you got to think about it. Like that's something that inherently in and of itself defeats these heroes is their need for the accolades and adoration of the public, right? Because I mean, well, with the except we can argue that about Batman, but that's neither here nor there. But with Superman, you know for a fact he is fast enough that he no one ever has to see him, right? He could just pop in, let me handle this real quick, and pop away, and like nobody ever sees me again. Nobody ever gets a clear view of my face. He never has to do interviews with Lois Lane, right? He never has to. The public doesn't even have to know to call him Superman. They can just call him the big red and blue blur. They can call him that white guy that flies. They can call him anything they want. Like, but
In the early comics, he was called the red and blue blur because they couldn't see him because he was doing that. I'm gonna pop in. I'm gonna save some people. Then I'm gonna disappear again.
Yeah, and he
So
could have kept that up.
off that statement that you made, basically you're saying superheroes are basically politicians or a popularity contest to see who's in great favor.
Yeah,
That's a fair
That's
assessment.
kinda, but
No,
not necessarily in that way.
no, kind of. That's
I'm saying that they that's not the motivation for what they do, but they love the attention too much.
Yes, that's what I'm
That's their
saying.
problem.
The attentions of the good part of, well, I did this, and I
You know,
saved 40 people from a burning building today.
Yeah.
Hawkman, what did you
Yeah.
do? No, that's bull.
well, Hawkman's.
It's interesting that Lex Luthor actually rolls that point to Superman himself and actually calls Superman his greatest accomplice because he basically told him, it's like, you love being the Boy Scout. You actually like doing this.
You like being a hero, yeah.
And yeah, you know what I mean? And what hero would you be if there were not me?
True.
Right.
Batman, Joker type.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still the two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
Who would be Superman's greatest adversary if it wasn't Lex? I'll wait. You could say
Darkside.
Darkside dog walk Superman, left, right, center, any day of the week. Dog walks him.
I mean,
Darkseid let Superman win for for giggles.
but there is, and I do have to get it. I have to follow fully research it. But I believe there's a dude named, I think his name's like Simon Hurt, and he's cursed by some demon. But it's something to the effect. It's something to the effect of, it explains why Gotham City is such a dark place, because it's the location, the site is actually cursed by a demon. That's why all the horrible things happen in the first place. There's I think a demon that was basically sent there as punishment, and he couldn't leave. But the anarchy, the tyranny, in a sense, radiates outward from him. So it consumed the entire site, which would then become Gotham City. So literally, Batman, in a sense, Batman's existence being that, his parents dying, and that's where the whole Dark Knight, the Avenger, in a sense, comes from. The Joker being his arch nemesis, the entire rogues gallery that he has. All of this is due to the fact that the city they actually reside in is actually cursed.
Yeah, I mean, legit. Like, if you up and coming, let's say Gotham is a real place, you up and coming, like, oh, I'm gonna move to the big city, get me a great job. You're not moving to Gotham.
Mm-hmm. No, you move to Metropolis, Central City, Fawcett City. But the funny thing about that
you moved to LA.
The funny thing about that entire theory, though, which is the craziest part about it, is the thing that cursed, I believe his name is Simon Hurt, which then subsequently led to all of the negative, all of the evil, all of the bad that happens in Gotham City, was Darkside.
So,
okay,
real quick,
Darkside actually cursed the thing that caused, in a sense, he made Batman, the Joker, all of them.
So real quick, for you guys that are interested, Dr. Hurt, that's who you're talking about, Simon Hurt. You can find this information at batman.fandom.com /wiki/Dr._Hurt. And he's actually Bruce Wayne's ancestor.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That's some dirty.
He's related.
Now that I Google it and I see it on the page, I remember this storyline now. This is ringing a bell.
He's related to Thomas Wayne. He first makes his appearance in pre-crisis, then once again in post-crisis. Well, incorrect. First appearance was Batman number 156, June 1963. He had an unnamed supporting role. Then again in Batman, The Return of Bruce Wayne, Volume 1, Number 4, September 2010 as Dr. Hurt. So
that was a great story.
That just gives you guys a little bit of background about him. But yeah, so he's related to the Waynes. So he's also in R.I.P. Batman, which is kind of interesting. You know what?
Yep.
Another villain that I forgot about, which was another obscure one, and I liked him a lot, only because he killed Superman.
Oh wow!
Who
is the only villain that killed Superman?
Talking about Darkside, or not Darkside?
Doomsday.
Doomsday. Thank you.
Yep. And
but I don't even think you could say Doomsday killed.
He's a villain.
Doomsday killed Superman. He just slowed his heart down to like next to nothing, and then it started again.
Beat him into a coma. There are 3 comic books.
This is true.
For this, he beats him into a coma, and he died.
Yeah,
they had to put him next to the sun for like a year and a half to get him back.
The interesting thing about that one, the Wonder Woman Bloodline, it's an animation. Could you imagine being on the Isle of Themyscira? Forget the fact that you're on an island full of Amazon warriors, but could you imagine being on the Isle of Themyscira and looking out at the coast and seeing 1,000 copies of Doomsday?
Oh yeah.
Granted, you're lucky you found out that they nerfed
Doomsday. They nerfed Doomsday
a
lot, because regular Amazonians aren't.
That's what I was like. How in the world would they be able to touch it, much less that many of them?
Yeah, no. If I recall, in the storyline, like the entire Justice League got backhanded by Doomsday. Like backhanded through some buildings, and they said, "Ow, no, I don't want to fight no more." Yo, Superman, yo, handle this, including Wonder Woman. So like,
There was a death battle, Doomsday versus the Hulk. Spoiler: the Hulk loses,
well, yeah.
and people seem to not understand that it's the funniest thing in the world.
Not surprising.
Well, there's certain versions of the Hulk will lose to Doomsday, but not all of them. Like there's
Well, I
no
mean,
beating the Green Scar.
there's only so hard you can hit him, and at the end of the day, he'll regenerate anyway. It might take forever, but it'll still happen anyway.
That's true.
True.
Coming back impervious to whatever killed him in the first place. Again, when you trade blows with Wonder Woman and Superman, not trying to be mean, but if you're not at least at World Breaker Hulk, you're not going to hurt him.
That's what I'm saying. The Green Scar that he's laughing at Dark.
It's probably it's probably the strongest version of the Hulk. And yeah, you have to KO him and you have to KO Doomsday literally on the molecular level in one shot.
Yeah. But, otherwise it's not going to happen. But I like the way this discussion went because I don't think I don't think there's a way for us to say that these villains that we came up with, which would be our favorite villains, I don't think there's really a way to say that's not right or to really discuss it to say that that's wrong. Because we each pointed out why they're our favorite and the accomplishments that they've come up with, which put them on that pedestal. So it's really cool. I still think the most obscure villain on this list is Luthor. Darkseid is just cheap.
You just had to get that out there, huh?
I mean, well, like he's like the devil. Like
He is.
he's like a godly force.
Yeah,
almost like a force of nature, man. Like
he got beat up and fell on existence itself. He fell on the multiverse after getting bested in combat by his own son.
Correct.
That's pretty cheesy.
So he's like Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat 2. Like you can't beat him. It's like elbow, hammer, elbow, finish him. That's what that is. I don't cheat.
I agree.
Hey, I wanna run through a couple of these honorable mentions I got, man. Like Ra's al Ghul, the Tower of Babel story, crazy. You should check it out. Batman defeats the Justice League. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Twice.
Norman Osborn, the Dark Avengers, the Dark Reign, for like 6 months in Marvel Comics. All the villains were in charge. They were the heroes. And that's because of Norman Osborn. That was fantastic. Just check it out, The Dark Reign. Local comic book shop, check it out. The Reverse Flash for Flashpoint. The whole thing that caused the New 52. Great story and great villain. Definitely check it out. Nightfall, and that's the story. The villain from that is Bane, and he is a bad man for lots of different reasons. Go ahead and take a look at that. And Magneto from the X-Men, the Ultimate X-Men. That Magneto. He does some terrible and horrible things. Check it out. Great story. Recommend it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
Check out guys, check out Final Crisis from DC if you really want to understand what I mean when I say Darkside, but the lead up to it, Infinite Crisis, to set the table for you nicely. Check that out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just put that out here because I told Bree and Black I'm gonna put it out there anyway. For you old school fans like myself, we're gonna stick with Cobra Commander and Mumra off of this.
Nice.
Just gonna say,
yes.
That's all I'm gonna say. I know Darkside and them, but I'm gonna leave it with my man Cobra Commander and Destro, and then give me give me my mommy for Mumra, and that's the way
say,
I will say.
I will say, for those two, Mumra is the coolest, only because he got that super cool rap, which is ancient powers of evil transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever living.
He's an old man that gets hyped up off of steroids and becomes a bodybuilder. That's all he is.
That's it. And then Kobe Commander and them don't count because they never completed their weather dominator. So they always.
Bree, how can you say this and you in the military? That's the driving force right there.
Going with the Joes. It's all about the Joes.
I'm just saying. Look, we got
and
special
we don't get any more for Skeletor.
Oh, Skeletor!
Thank you. That brought a tear. That's hilarious.
Guys, I will say.
That's a good one.
For tuning in to this week of.
Wait, hold on. Before you finish that, Mr. Host, I would just like to say everyone that supported the brand, Miss Sugar, and actually, yes, we are. Everyone who supported during the Crazy 8 sales, I thank you. We thank you. The whole entire deal, and please go check us out. Online stores that go shipping, and shipping is free, totally free, no taxes, and it can be shipped directly to you. I know my co-host Rhea is probably gonna beat me for this, but I'm gonna put it out there anyway. Thank you.
On that note, I do want to say thank you all for checking out Clockwise Thoughts. Keep this in mind. A clock is only right twice a day. Why not be right all the time? Check us out next week as the clock winds and turns. We reset, and we catch you all next time on Clockwise Thoughts.
Like, comment, and subscribe, people.